Are you looking to build influence? Or maybe to drive more traffic? But bottom line, you want to change the game. You've come to the right place. Welcome to the Business Building Book Club. We're going to give you the tools you need to succeed, both online and in person. Brought to you by Coach Molly and Three Pines Leadership.
Hey Visibiltiy Hackers, and welcome back to the Business Building Book Club. I'm your host, Coach Molly from visibiltyhacking.com, and again, I am so happy you guys are here with us today. We're going to be diving back into Russell Brunson's expert secrets today. Make sure that if you don't already have your own copy of this fantastic second edition hardcover book, make sure you grab yours today. You can grab it down in the description box below. It's absolutely free. Just cover the cost of shipping and we'll get it to you. It's a fabulous, fabulous business resource, especially if you're looking to establish your authority or your expertise out in the world, either in the digital world or on stages. So without further ado, let's dive into today's chapter. We're going to be looking at secret number 12, the Big Domino. So if you remember a couple weeks ago when we were talking about the perfect webinar framework, we got a big overview of it. And today we're going to be diving into that first section, that Big Domino. So this is beginning on page 214 in the second edition, the hardcover edition. And yeah, let's get to it. Secret number 12, the Big Domino. I was sitting in a room with about 120 other successful entrepreneurs, all of whom made at least $1 million a year. A requirement to be in that room. One of the featured keynote speakers was Tim Ferriss, the author of the 4-Hour Workweek. After his presentation, he opened the floor to questions. A woman stood up and asked, "Hey Tim, you seem to get so much done. What is it that you do all day?" He paused for a moment and then gave an awkward half smile and said, "If you watched my daily routine, you'd be bored out of your mind. Most people wake up every morning with a task list of 1,000 things to do," he continued. They go through the day trying to knock down all of these things, do things differently. I do things differently. I wake up every morning and I meditate. I drink tea or coffee. I go for a walk and I maybe read a book. He said he might spend 2 or 3 or 4 weeks doing that and nothing else. My whole goal is to slow down and look around. Instead of looking for all the tasks that I could do, I try to identify the one big domino, the one thing that if I could knock that down, all other dominoes would either fall down or become irrelevant. When he said that, I had an aha moment. I haven't yet figured out how to implement this in my personal life, but when it comes to how to sell things, I realized he was 100% right. The first step to creating belief is figuring out the one thing that you have to get someone to believe that will knock down all other objections and make those objections irrelevant and disappear altogether. A little while later, I was talking to a friend and a mentor, Perry Belcher. He told me how he had gone back and analyzed all of the different offers that his company had created and ever sold in the past 10 years. He discovered that the more things they had asked someone to believe in their sales pitch, the worse the offer converted. In fact, he figured out that if they tried to make more than one point or ask someone to focus on more than one thing in a sales message, conversion sales dropped by half. He said, look at how many things a prospect has to believe in order to buy what you're selling. If it's more than one, you need to rework your sales presentation. After hearing that, I knew my team and I had to go back and look at everything we were selling. We asked ourselves, what's the one thing that is the one big domino of belief that we need to knock down? Every product has one big domino, one thing that will knock down all smaller objections and resistance. If we can get people to believe that one thing, then they will have to buy it. I took a logic class in college that showed different ways to create valid arguments. One of the many valid argument forms is called a modus poens. It looks like this. If A, then B. A, therefore B. If I were to put this argument into a sentence, I'd say something like, if Dallin doesn't finish his homework, then he will not get to play with his friends. Dallin did not finish his homework, therefore Dallin does not get to play with his friends. If you think about it, you'll start to see patterns in this argument everywhere. Religion is an easy example. In Christianity, everything hinges upon the truth of the Bible. If someone believes the Bible is true, then they have no other option than to believe that Jesus Christ is the Savior. If he is truly the Savior, then all the other concerns you have about Christianity disappear. If the Bible is true, then Jesus is the Savior. The Bible is true, and therefore Jesus is the Savior. As a Christian, if I get someone to believe the Bible, their big domino, then it knocks down every other domino and makes any other argument irrelevant to the person who has that belief. But it's not just in religion. We see this happening everywhere around us, from politics to sports to the people we spend time with. That's why it's hard to have an argument with someone about something they truly believe in. When that seed of belief is there, it doesn't matter how much you try to convince them otherwise. It has already knocked down all other smaller dominoes that you're trying to stack back up. The one thing, the big domino statement. When we launched ClickFunnels, I tried to figure out the one key belief that I needed my audience to understand and believe. I came up with this basic statement. If I can make people believe that my new opportunity or category is the key to the result they desire most and is only attainable through my specific vehicle or frameworks, then all other objections and concerns become irrelevant and they have to give me money. If I can get someone to truly believe that the new opportunity or category is the key to what they desire most, and they can get it only through my vehicles and frameworks, then they have no other options but to buy. This is the key to launching your movement. Belief. Here is what I used for ClickFunnels. If I can make people believe that funnels are the key to online business success and are attainable only through ClickFunnels, then all other objections and concerns become irrelevant and they have to give me money. When someone believes that they have a funnel, and they do, that they have to have a funnel, and they do, and that I present the only way that they can get one, then they have to buy ClickFunnels. There's no other option. If I helped my inner circle members create these statements for their businesses, we discovered that if we're struggling to make a valid argument that works, it's typically because we didn't create a new opportunity, but instead have an improvement offer. If we haven't created a blue ocean, then the argument won't be valid. For example, I've seen statements that say something like, if I can make people believe that cutting calories and exercising is the key to losing weight and is attainable only through my new weight loss course, then all other objections and concerns become irrelevant and they have to give me money. That statement is not true. If the belief you are trying to give them is that they need to cut calories and exercise, there are a few problems. You are not in the prolific zone. You're in the mainstream. This is not a new opportunity. There are thousands of identical programs crowding the niche of cutting calories and exercising. This is not a blue ocean. Customers could literally buy one of the 100 different products to satisfy the belief you created. The niche and opportunity should need to change to something like this. If I can make them believe that ketosis is the key to losing weight and is attainable only through my proprietary framework that gets your body into ketosis within 10 minutes, then all other objections and concerns become irrelevant and they have to give me money. So, how do we knock down the big domino? Now that you've identified the exact thing you need your audience to believe if they're going to take action at the end of your presentation, it's time to design everything around rewriting the stories in their minds with new, empowering stories that will better serve them. Typically, I do this either in PowerPoint for PCs or Keynote for Macs, or my favorite, Google Slides, which works for everyone. Because of that, I'm going to teach the next few presentations slide by slide with an image to show the concept behind each one. If you're doing a webinar, this graphic will give you ideas of what you can put on your slides. If you're using this script in an email sequence or some other selling system, use the slides as a reminder of what you need to cover at each phase. The next 15 minutes, or 1/60th of your presentation, is trying to knock down the big domino through your origin story. We break this time down into 2 phases, the introduction and the origin story. The big domino slides. Before I start creating my presentation, I want to be thinking about who it's for and what is the hook to get someone to come and watch that presentation. So your who/what statement. As a first step, I like to make a who/what statement that quickly addresses which submarket my message is for and what new opportunity they will be switching to. It reads like this. I am going to teach, insert submarket, how to, insert result, through, insert vehicle. Here are 2 examples of what that statement could look like. I am going to teach real estate investors how to make money through flipping houses on eBay. I am going to teach people who are sick of dieting how to lose weight by drinking ketones for energy and weight loss. The opportunity switch headline. Now that you know your who and what, you need to give the class a sexy title that will attract your dream customers. I try to create a title that focuses on the result of the presentation we will deliver. I do this by filling in this phrase. How to, result they desire most, without, thing they fear the most. So for my ClickFunnels masterclass, I would create something like this. How to create a 7-figure funnel in less than 30 minutes without having to hire or be held hostage by a tech guy. Or for funnel scripts presentations, our headline is how to get all your sales letters, scripts, webinar slides, emails, and ads written in as little as 10 minutes without hiring an expensive copywriter. Here are some other examples from different niches. So flipping houses on eBay. How to make a quick 10K this weekend by flipping your first house on eBay without getting a loan from the bank. How about helping kids with ADD? How to destroy your kids' ADD naturally and help them get better grades without giving up their favorite after-school snacks. How about a relationship coach? How to reconnect with your wife and find the passion in your marriage without having to go through painful counseling or wasting time talking. Weight loss through ketosis. How to stop exercising and still lose weight through a little-known trick that almost instantly puts your body into ketosis without giving up your favorite carbs. You can plug almost any opportunity switch presentation into that framework and create quick titles that people will be interested in. There are many other headline frameworks that you can use to title your presentation as well. We have a full chapter on headline scripts in .com secrets you could use. Or the easier route is using the funnel script software at funnelscripts.com to generate headlines for your presentations. Hey everybody, welcome to the webinar. This is so-and-so, and today I'm going to show you how to na-na-na without na-na-da-da-da-da. Number 2, introduction and rapport slides. Earlier you learned about Blair Warren's one-sentence persuasion strategy. Remember, he said people will do anything for those who encourage their dreams, justify their failures, allay their fears, and confirm their suspicions and help throw rocks at their enemies. I like to cover this at the very beginning of my presentation as a way to build instant rapport with my audience. And here's how to do it. Justify their failures. Now, I'm guessing for a lot of you, this is probably not your first webinar. The first thing I want to mention is that if you've failed at X in the past, it's not your fault. There's a lot of information out there and it can be confusing. Many times that information overload keeps you from success, and it's okay. Allay their fears. If you've been concerned in the past that you just can't succeed with X, I want to put those fears at rest. You can do this. You just need the right person to explain it to you. Throw rocks at their enemies. The big corporations want you to think that you need a lot of venture capital or some fancy college degree to be successful. I'm here to tell you that they're wrong. They have their own reasons for wanting you to think that, but it's just not true. Confirm suspicions. If you've ever thought that your government and the banks want you to fail, you're probably right. They didn't benefit from you succeeding. They want you to keep you in debt and in need. The difference with us is that we actually care about your success and truly want to see you living the life of your dreams. Encourage their dreams. So that's what we're here for. I know you have a dream to change the world and make an impact, and I want to show you how to make that happen during this webinar. Next, the ruler slide. The next slide is what I call the ruler. It's the measuring stick that people will use to judge your webinar. If you don't tell them what your goals are, even if you do everything perfectly, they may be upset because their goal is different than yours. So I like to tell people right away what my goals are and what I want them to get from the presentation. If they aren't looking for a similar goal, they have the opportunity to leave at that point. The goal is always to help them see that this new opportunity will give them their greatest desires, increase their status, and help them achieve their goals. I also take this opportunity to be inclusive of any people who aren't sure whether they are in the right spot. I don't want people wondering during this whole presentation, is this for me? I want them to know up front that this is exactly what they need. My goal for this presentation is to help two types of people. For those who are beginners, you'll get what the presentation or new opportunity will do for them or how it will fulfill their desires. For more experienced people, you'll get an alternative. Sometimes my inclusion is for my beginners versus advanced, but other times it's based on parts of the market who may be watching. For example, if you own a retail store, you'll get X from my presentation. But if you own an online store, you'll get X from the presentation. 4, the Big Domino slide. The next slide is typically an extension of my goal, and it's where I reveal the big domino. Remember, they need to believe that your specific vehicle is the only way to get what they desire most. Remember, the big domino sentence you created earlier? It looks like this. If I can make them believe that my new opportunity is the key to what they desire most and is only attainable through your specific vehicle, then all other objections and concerns become obsolete. Here I say that my goal is to get them to believe that the new opportunity I am presenting is the secret to the result they desire most. In the next 90 minutes, my goal is to get you to believe that this new opportunity is the key to unlock what you desire most. And I am going to show you my proprietary frameworks that will make it simple for you to achieve that result. Qualify your slide. You have to be careful here because one of the fastest ways to break rapport with your listeners is to talk about how great you are. But it's also essential for them to know who you are and that you are qualified to lead them. I talk briefly about 1 or 2 things from my highlight reel, and then I quickly move on to my backstory and show that I started in a place just like them. In the past, however many years, I had an amazing chance to cool thing you've done because of your new opportunity, and I've also been able to help other people to awesome thing that you did for others. But it wasn't always that way. In fact, just a few short years ago, I was just like you, and then transition into your backstory. Number 6, the Epiphany Bridge origin story slides. This is where you transition into your backstory for your first Epiphany Bridge story. You will have the chance to tell the origin story that helped you discover this new opportunity. Because we spent the whole chapter on this script, I'm not going to break it down slide by slide, but I usually have at least 1 slide for each of the 14 steps in this script. This will be your first attempt to knock down the big domino. Some people, after hearing the story, will have the same epiphany that you had and will be ready to take action when you are finished with this one story. Everything else you say from this point forward will strengthen their initial aha. At this point, you should be about 15 minutes or 1/6 of the way through your presentation. If you've made your first attempt at getting your listeners to believe in your new opportunity, and now it's time to move on to the next phase of your script, where you'll be teaching the vehicle and internal and external frameworks that will help them knock down that big domino. And so with that, my friends, we will turn off or close this chapter of Expert Secrets. If you don't already have your copy, make sure you grab one. It's absolutely free. You just have to cover the cost of shipping. Links are down below. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this episode. I will see you again in our next episode. And until then, remember, I love you and be excellent to each other.